Hello, my name is Tim, and I want to welcome you to Tim's Reflections from Ohio, a YouTube video series where we look at, talk about, reflect on the parables that Jesus told, stories he told, stories from his life. And today we'll be reflecting on John chapter 15, verses 1 through 8. It's a passage in my Bible that has a heading, The True Vine. And I'll begin reading in verse 1. Jesus says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. That's the Father's goal, is that we will not just bear fruit, but that we will bear more fruit. He goes on to say, you are already clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. We need to remember this. We cannot bear fruit on our own. The only way a branch can bear fruit is to stay connected with the vine. And the only way that we as Christians living today can bear fruit is to stay connected with the vine, which Jesus said, I am the true vine. We've got to keep connected with him. Verse 5. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit, for without me you can do nothing. If we stay connected with the vine, the verse says we will bear much fruit. The verse ends with the warning, without me you can do nothing. The frightening thing is that we can go on for days and days, for periods of time, and have lost connection with the vine and may not even be aware of it. We may go on for periods of time and look and still feel the same. We may go to church each week. We may do our Bible study and our praying, but it has become a facade. There's no connection with the vine, and we're going on through the motions, and initially no one knows it. Several years ago, there was a huge branch broke off of a tree in our backyard, and it fell and did some damage to our house. The branch laid there on the ground for several days, and initially it looked fine. The bark looked healthy, the leaves looked healthy, but there was no connection with the tree. And eventually the leaves began to wither up and dry up and die. That's the way it is with us. We lose the connection with the vine, and initially things look and feel the same. They feel normal, but eventually it becomes obvious that something is wrong. Verse 6 of chapter 15. If anyone does not abide in me, he is cast out as a branch and is withered, and they gather them and throw them into the fire, and they are burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, you will ask what you will desire, and it will be done to you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, so you will be my disciples. God, according to verse 8, God is glorified when his children produce much fruit. Just like the non-bearing branches of the vine require drastic pruning, non-fruit-bearing Christians also require drastic pruning. Also, just like the fruit-bearing branches of the tree have the branches and tendrils cut from anything that is unhealthy to the plant. And sometimes these branches, they connect themselves with something. Maybe it's the posts of the trellis that's holding the branches up. And they connect to that and they wrap around it, or they wrap around something on the ground that's not healthy, and that has to be cut away. Christians bearing fruit need to have anything cut away that will hinder their fruit growth, and their ability to produce healthy fruit. Have you ever been pruned by God? If you were to look at the vine before and after the pruning, you might say they took too much. When I was a young man, my parents had a grape arbor. They wanted to make some of their own grape juice. And so they grew some grapes, and they had the grapevines, and my father built a trellis for them to grow on. And I ended up pruning them. And when you're done, you've cut them back, way back. That's just normal. And it looks like too much has been taken, but it's healthy for the plant. And after God has pruned us, sometimes we think he's taken too much. He took things that we were holding on to that gave us security. He wants us to find our security in him, not in things of the world. But we must remember that God knows what he's doing. And when he cuts something out of our lives, it's for our best interest. Now, here is our reflections for today. There are 5 things I want us to remember. First of all, just like non-fruit-bearing branches are taken away, non-fruit-bearing Christians will also be dealt with by the Father. Number 2, just like fruit-bearing branches are pruned to bear more fruit, the Father prunes fruit-bearing Christians so they will bear more fruit. Careful soil preparation was required for the plants in Jesus' day, and careful soil preparation is required for our hearts today. Sometimes our hearts become hardened by the difficulties of life. We need to be sure that we're spending time with God each day, spending time in his word, spending time in prayer to heaven, spending time listening to him talk to us. It helps to keep our hearts, the soil of our hearts, fertile so that he can plant and the fruits will grow that he wants us to have in our lives. And just like the branch can only bear fruit by remaining connected with the vine, Christians can only bear fruit by remaining connected with Jesus. And lastly, the branch that is pruned and remains connected with the vine will bear much fruit. It works the same for us as believers today. The pruning and the connection will ensure that we bear much fruit. My encouragement for each person listening today is that we will look at our hearts. We will see, are there things in our lives that God needs to prune, that he needs to take away, something we're holding on to that we think we need, but it's not really important. And if so, ask him. Ask him for the strength to get it out of your life. Ask him to prune you. Ask him to take it away because he wants what's best for you. He doesn't want his children holding on to things of the world thinking we need them. Because if we are relying on our car, if we're finding our security in our bank account, we're finding security in our position in our job, then we're not relying on him. We're not finding our security in him. And that's where he wants us at, where we find our security, our self-worth, our value in him and what he has done for us and what he continues to do for us each day. Thank you so much for watching the video today. I ask that you will click on the button, the thumbs up, if you were blessed by the video. Please feel free to leave a comment, and if you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel, and you will receive notifications as videos are added in the future going forward. I hope you have a great day, a blessed week coming up, and remember, never forget that God loves you, and he wants what's best for you.